Linda Smith, a financial abundance coach, is back on the line with us, and always lovely to have you with me on the show, or the program, I should say. Linda, good afternoon.
Yes, hi Quentin. Lovely to be back with you this afternoon.
Have you saved for Valentine's Day?
Have you saved for Valentine's Day? It's always a good thing.
It was a good thing, I tell you. Having come from a very long month, the month of Jan, lots of people, of course, having spent the money on all the necessary bits and little holes they had from the long season we had in December, of course. And, of course, hopefully you still have some money left to spend, of course, on Valentine's Day. What is your plans, Linda?
Well, we were having actually a quiet evening together, my husband and I, and got flowers from my daughter and her boyfriend, which was wonderful. So, I think, there's a combination. I think, Valentine's Day is about love and connection. And on the other hand, one doesn't have to spend a lot of money. Not to say that you can't, if that's what you'd like to do. But, don't blow the budget, because at the end of the day, one has to be sensible when it comes to one's money.
All right, but luckily, Valentine's Day is only one day. There's not much planning that needs to go into, you don't need to sit and do a monthly budget because of Valentine's Day coming up. Really, it's really the thought that counts more than the gifts,
It really is. It really is. And, I think everybody has got their own sense around what they want to do. And, so whether it's the roses that the men are in the queues buying roses for their wives, or whether you're buying a card and some chocolates, or just having time together. I think, another thing I know people are doing is even having a family Valentine's, where you plan something even with the children and make it a family special time. So it's about being creative, and I believe about connecting.
All right, fantastic. Well, let's get back to our conversation at hand. We have a very interesting theme for today. Talk to us about that.
Yes, today we're going to be talking about creating financial freedom through saving, or financial peace of mind through saving. And one of the questions that comes up a lot in my work with clients is about the question would be, how can I save when I have debts? And the first reason behind that question would be, of course, that the debt is costing, the interest on the debt is costing more than the interest that one would earn on a savings account. So today's message is really about highlighting or opening up the idea for people that, certainly my philosophy, and my clients have proved this to work, and that is that one must save even if you have debt. And it's saving, which is such a, I would say even probably one of the most important principles when it comes to money management, but it's one of the actions and habits that traditionally, or today, these days, people overlook. And the reason for that is because of debt. So many people out there just go, well, when I've paid my debt off, then I'll start saving. But the reason why that's so detrimental is that if one does not build up, at the very least, an emergency fund, then the cycle of debt, it is perpetuated simply as a function of, things happen, and if there's no emergency fund, then the next thing that will happen would be, one would put an emergency cost onto the credit card. So my message for your listeners today is, if they haven't already done this, out of the conversations we've had earlier in these last few weeks, is to start to think very seriously about saving, even if you've got debt.
Very important. All right, so people are always, welcome to read more about, what it is to save, what it is to budget accordingly, and people are welcome to read about the topics that we discuss on your website. Talk to us about that.
Yes, on my website, certainly people can read up about certainly about other people's experiences, and they can read up about the different products and services that I offer that really help people to bring a new level of responsibility or even accountability to their finances. But when I use those big words, certainly what my philosophy is to have it be creative and to have it be fun. Nobody wants to be doing something that is boring and dull, and very often when it comes to budgeting, people say, well, it doesn't work out. So it's really about bringing a plan together that's going to work for you, which, as I say, is why the saving part is so important, because so often people simply neglect it because of the belief that they don't have the money to save, or they don't earn enough to save. So that's a very big and important principle or habit to bring into one's financial planning.
Your website details again for those that missed it?
Okay, my website details, it's lindiary, LINDIARY.com. And people can participate either in my workshops or else I offer one-on-one coaching that help people to, take back the power when it comes to their money.
And then, of course, you also have a very, very cute little diary that one can utilize in terms of planning and budgeting from month to month. It's a year diary. Talk to me about the diary, please.
Yes, that's correct. It's an A5 size diary, and it's a pay-to-day diary. And one of the features that the diary actually has is on every page, it's got a little block where one can actually write down and record what you're saving on a daily basis. And, I've had some clients share how they're even just saving maybe 10 Rand a day or 20 Rand a day. So the diary really supports people to take back the control around their money and to, as I said, direct more towards the saving. And, if it's something that somebody's listening here today and takes that on for themselves, it literally changes their lives in that having an emergency fund is a much more powerful and financially freeing position to be in than to just, operating from one debt repayment to the next.
And people can get a copy of that diary exactly where?
The diary is available from CNA stores and some exclusive bookstores as well, or they can order even directly from me through the website.
And they can go to lindiary.com.
That's it, yes.
Always nice and insightful chatting to you. It's what we call